All right, how you want to start this shit off?
Just introduce it. We can just take it from there. I don't know. I haven't been a part of a podcast before.
Same. Well, that's a lie, but
Yeah, that's a fucking lie.
I think I hear
All
me
right.
drinking all of my water and shit. Y'all gotta
Fuck
hold
it.
that. Y'all gotta hold that. But look,
All right.
actually, I could cut it out in editing.
Nah. All this shit gotta stay in.
Nah.
Raw, unfiltered. Raw and unfiltered. Come on.
All right. Anyway, I guess I'll start us off.
All right.
Hello, people of the internet. My name is HTK, Hall the King. Some may know me by Pinkman, but just stick with HTK because I have too many names.
Felt that.
This is, well, Alpha, you can introduce yourself. You're a grown-ass man. I don't need to do that shit.
True. Hey, what's up, peeps? My name's Alpha. HallowTheKing. I do YouTube stuff sometimes. I like movies. I don't like a lot of things too, but we're not here to talk about that. So
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
yeah,
But
we
we'll
are.
get to that later. This is the Peak Cinema podcast. If we're sticking with that name, I don't know, but I guess we are because
Yeah, man. PCP.
Yeah, something like that. Sounds like a drug enhancement, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it is, right? I don't know. We're not here to talk about drugs. We're here to talk. Actually, no, we are here to talk about drugs. We're here to talk about Spider-Man. To some, may be considered a drug, because some of y'all act like y'all are on drugs when you're talking about this character. But look,
Yeah,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
first order of business. Favorite Spider-Man movie and why? I'll let you start off, Alpha.
Okay. My favorite Spider-Man movie at the moment, and because recently it's kind of gone back and forth between No Way Home and Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to pick right now at the second, I would say Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Like overall, and it's for a few reasons actually. Like in terms of how it was made and filmed, I really respect it. Everything, not everything, but there were a lot of practical sets made for it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the action was in camera too, and I know in terms of film production, stuff like that is really hard to plan out and execute properly. And I think that Sam Raimi did such a great job in doing that. And just overall with how I feel about it as a movie, it's my childhood. It's one of the first Spider-Man movies I remember watching when I was younger. And when I think of Spider-Man, that always comes to mind. It has a great soundtrack. I think all the actors do a great job in it. Even Kirsten Dunst, who I'm not really too fond of, is still good in that movie.
I don't think anyone's fond of Kirsten Dunst, but
everyone was doing their job greatly in it, and and its message about having to kind of give up what you want the most, for the for a greater purpose, I think is something that's really important. And it's something that people can take into account a lot, and I really appreciate films like that, give you a message and make you think about something.
right.
And but yeah, it's just one of my favorite Spider-Man movies and my favorite movie of all time.
Damn, really?
Yeah, it's inspired me so much in my life, and that's partly why I'm into filmmaking now, and because of that.
Understandable, yeah.
But yeah, man. So that's how I feel about Spider-Man 2 and why I think it's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
Gotcha. Huh.
All right.
So, I guess I have to say my favorite now. It's tricky because a few years ago, it was Homecoming, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. cause y'all motherfuckers are stupid and y'all don't actually watch these movies. Cause I'm gonna start off being toxic, but
that's why we're here.
but of course, Spider-Verse came out, and so I think everyone could say like that is their favorite Spider-Man movie. It's either Spider-Verse or Spider-Man 2. That's usually it's one of the two that are people's favorites. After No Way Home, it's tied between that and Spider-Verse, and I don't know. I feel like after I see No Way Home again, I can have a definite answer. But to stay safe, I'm gonna say Spider-Verse for now. But No Way Home, that movie, I still can't believe that shit is real.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
That shit actually was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
The movie was ridiculous. There's gonna be spoilers in this podcast, so if you haven't seen the movie, I mean, first of all, if you haven't seen the movie, what the fuck? What are y'all doing? Like, what are y'all even doing with your lives if you haven't seen that movie, bro? Like,
how are you gonna watch a Spider-Man podcast and not see No Way Home? Like, stupid. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Right. Like, anyway.
Sponsored by Sony, by the way. Hey.
Right.
Hey, y'all want to sponsor us? We're open.
All right. I'm gonna get to the Homecoming shit later on, but moving on right now.
Yeah.
So the second thing we're going to talk about is what's a Spider-Man movie that you've changed your opinion on over the years? I think you told me yours, but just say it anyway.
It's Homecoming, and
oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Look, Homecoming is like really weird because like when I first saw it back in 2017, I really enjoyed it, but then after watching it again, I was like, it's alright. Like, it's not that good. But, like, after, like, watching videos on it and shit, and, like, like watching the other Spider-Man movies again, I was like, you know what? This shit kind of mid.
Damn.
But after... Hold on.
I'm not saying nothing.
But, like, after seeing it again recently, and after seeing No Way Home especially, like, I appreciate it more because it knew exactly what it was trying to do. And that was trying to be a different type of Spider-Man story, it was our first time ever having Peter in a world full of superheroes. So it kind of had to tell a story about that, and how, he was 15 in that movie, right?
Yeah.
How a 15-year-old kid would react to being a superhero in a world full of bigger heroes. And like it was never meant to be like a dark and depressing film, like it was never meant to have consequences in every other scene.
Hey, we could get to that in a minute, bro.
Yeah.
Get to that, because I have some words for people.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like even John Watts, who's the director for it, like he said, like in interviews that like his goal for the film was to have a fun superhero movie. And I think in terms of that, he did a really good job, Fun
superhero movie? You can't have that.
Right?
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so like, if you take that movie at face value, like for what it is, it's honestly really enjoyable. I would have it like right under The Amazing Spider-Man for me, and I have that movie like at number 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I think the pros outweigh the cons for that movie. Like, the only cons I really have is a suit.
Mm-hmm.
I think in certain scenes it's like really bad looking in terms of the CGI.
Yeah.
Especially in the ferry scene, it looked really rough there.
Interesting.
But yeah, like other than that, like I don't hate Homecoming. I think it's a pretty good movie, and it's a good Spider-Man movie. And it's like really weird saying that because I spent like the past 2 years trashing it. So
crazy.
Yeah, so that's how my opinion about that movie's changed. So what about yours, man?
Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh really? Okay, so how do you feel about it now?
No contest. When I first saw the movie, like,
mm-hmm.
It gave me the same feeling that Spider-Man 3 gave me, where it's a sense of like emptiness, except it was worse. I don't know, like it wasn't bad. Like I liked the movie, it was cool, but like I knew it was just going to be the same thing as Tobey's trilogy, where they were gonna find a way to fuck it up, and they did.
Yeah.
It was actually worse than Tobey's.
Same way too.
Yeah, like it was actually a lot worse, and
yeah,
that's why I liked the movie when it first came out. Over the years, like when it first came out, it was like it's another one of those superhero movies where it's a superhero movie that wants to be a Batman movie, and it's a common thing with superhero movies in the early 2000s and mid 2000s where everyone wanted to make a Batman movie, but they were stuck with making other superhero movies. So it's like, and I get it. Superheroes have dark themes. So why the fuck almost every Spider-Man movie before Homecoming had the same exact tone? It was a Batman movie. I'm like, bro, why? Like, it did not have to be like that. Right? And I grew up watching Tobey's movies, like Sam Raimi's movies. And I love those movies. But I'm not going to sit here and act like the tone is not dark as fuck. Like, and depressing. Especially the end of Spider-Man 3. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3 is weird.
I'm like, bro, and people praise that movie all of a sudden. That movie was garbage. I'm like,
bro.
We're gonna talk about that. I'm like, bro, y'all act like, and now people praise us, do the same thing with Andrew's movies, and then they went to shitting on Tom's. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. I have to preserve. No, fuck all that. I'm gonna talk about it now.
Hey man, go off. Yeah, come on.
So, Amazing Spider-Man, right? It is not a good movie. Y'all are bugging. It is an alright movie. It is an alright movie. Yeah, I like the things they did with it, right? Like I liked how they tried to make a modern Spider-Man because every superhero has to be modern and shit, right? And Man of Steel. But like they went for a modern version of Peter Parker, and some things I liked. The 3 things I liked about the movie, like they were cool. But y'all need to stop acting like these movies are just godsends all of a sudden. Like Amazing Spider-Man 2 is one of the worst superhero movies I have seen. Like, this, let's just not cap. It is. Yeah. And the fact that the main thing is, it looks good. It's the best looking Spider-Man movie. I don't even think it's the best looking Spider-Man movie, in my opinion. But look.
Word.
I don't think it is. But look. Y'all cannot sit here and think that just because it looks good, you're just supposed to look over everything else. Like, that shit is stupid. I'm sick of hearing that shit from people. I'm sick of people saying, it looks good, but it's the most aesthetically pleasing Spider-Man movie.
Aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so, like, that's... it's so weird when people say that, because, like, what do they mean by that? Like, aesthetically pleasing? Like, how it looks, like, in terms of...
Pretty colors, bro. Pretty colors. Like, I don't get it. Why is that? It's the first thing to come... And like... If we rewind like 6-7 years ago, right? This movie was considered the worst Spider-Man movie, which it is, and it's like, but now all of a sudden, that it's cool to hate on Tom Spider-Man. Andrew's movies are godlike, right? All of a sudden, it just doesn't make any sense to me why that's the case. I mean, it does. It's human nature. They hop from one thing to another.
It's like that every time. Like every time we have like a new Spider-Man like iteration.
Except for Tobey.
Because no, even for Tobey.
Oh
too,
yeah, Spider-Man 3. You're right.
Yeah. Hell, like all of his films, because back when the first Amazing Spider-Man came out, like you had so many people calling like Tobey's films campy and like you only like him because of nostalgia,
You mean
and
Cosmonaut?
shit like that.
Well, no, he did that way after.
Yeah, but not only just him, but like so many people like were doing that for years, and like then the Andrew movie came out. And the first one was kind of alright, and then the second one was complete ass. Everyone was like, you know what? Tobey had the better trilogy. Right. It was amazing. Fuck Andrew.
It's the way it's gonna be. Actually, that segues into our next topic, which is the worst Spider-Man movie. But I mean, we already said what the worst Spider. If it is, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst Spider-Man movie. Stop capping.
Yeah, I'm explaining why.
It's not Homecoming. It's not Far From Home. Y'all are bugging. I would watch both of those movies 5 times over before I watch that dumpster pile of a Spider-Man movie. But look,
and why is that?
Why is that? Because everything other than the visual effects are complete and utter booty butt cheeks. Like everything, every single thing. They put the makeup on the movie and that's it. Everything about that movie is just they did it because they had to, because they wanted to make money, and it's just that simple. There is no soul. That movie has no soul whatsoever. They should have gotten the people that did the visual effects to write the movie. They probably would have written a better movie than the people that actually wrote the movie. It's It's not even a complex thing as to why the movie is bad. It's just no one wrote the movie. It's just not good. No, anyone that tells you it is good don't love themselves, or either that or they're trying to be different. Either way, movie's garbage. Moving on.
Okay, so like.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Not moving on.
Yeah.
But
like, damn. All right, so like it's like really sad too, because like I'm not a fan of those films, but I feel bad for them because they were only made because of like corporate bullshit. You know, like they were only made because of Sony like needing a Spider-Man film out.
Yeah,
and like
Dragon Ball games of Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, pretty much. And so they had to hurry up and like get all this shit in place, and it really sucked. It's really terrible because like Mark Webb, he's a good director, you know, and I feel like and like I don't feel like we ever really got his Spider-Man vision. We kind of got it in the first movie, but in TASM 2, the shit was just all over the place. But like more on the reason why I don't like TASM 2 as much is because like it has the same problem as Spider-Man 3, where I feel like watching that movie is such a chore. It feels like work to watch that movie. Not only because it's long as fuck, because it's like 2 hours and 30 minutes almost, but also because like it's just so nothing makes sense. Everything is just happening at once. You know, how can we go from a scene where Peter and Gwen are talking about their relationship to a scene where suddenly Peter Parker has special spider blood? Like, what the fuck? Like, it was so weird. And like there are scenes in the movie that I do like and that I think, you know, are really cool. You know, like it's a like part in the movie probably halfway through where like there's a montage of like Peter doing Spider-Man shit, you know?
Yeah, of course, the best part of the movie.
Yeah, and like that's really cool, and like that's, you know, some real Spider-Man shit.
Yeah.
But just like everything else in it just
why couldn't the whole movie be like that?
Exactly. Like
that part had that
movie was about that, then like it would be a good movie.
Like that 10 minutes of footage had more heart than the entire rest of the movie. Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And bro, like Dane DeHaan as Green Goblin.
Oh, I don't even think that was an issue, but I mean that's just me. He looks like a goblin anyway, so it's
God damn. All right, I wasn't gonna say all of that, but like I feel like it was.
We were all thinking it.
Shit. Yeah, but I feel like he was really badly miscast for that. You know, like I don't really see him as Harry Osborn. Plus, like you never really got.
Kind of.
And yeah, I can't really know, but like you never really got the impression that him and Peter like had been friends for a while. You know, like it felt kind of forced, and like they didn't really have much chemistry in the movie. I felt like.
Yeah, I felt that too. Yeah.
No, but the highlight of that is Andrew and Emma and like their chemistry together. I feel like was some of the best on-screen Spider-Man romance we've ever gotten, and probably ever will at this point, especially after No Way Home. But
Oh yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That shit's.
Yeah. So like I can find things I enjoy about TASM 2, but like overall, like it's more negative shit. And I was really curious on how they can kind of fix that movie's problems with a sequel to it, but you know that should never happen.
No,
and I hope
it shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
they had their chance.
Right.
Amazing Spider-Man 3 does not need to happen, bro. I know y'all loved Andrew in No Way Home, but stop. That shit does not need to happen. Spider-Man 4 definitely doesn't need to happen.
Yes, bro. Like Toby's, he's pushing 50, bro. Like he's not gonna
leave Toby's shit alone.
Spider-Man
they both had
point.
Their chance.
Yeah.
Like, bro, no, we don't need that.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, like it's sad because you can tell like Andrew really loves and cares about Spider-Man, you know, and it does suck how he never got his trilogy.
Yeah.
It does, but I don't think they ever need to return to that series. I think he's fine right now with having the occasional cameo appearance.
I think the only reason I would say not to have Amazing Spider-Man 3 is because I know they would fuck it up even more than the second one.
Yeah.
Like I know they would. I know it's a fact. I know it would be garbage. So I don't want that shit. If I thought that they could do a good job and actually write a coherent story and just make a good movie, I would be like, you know what, I might want that. But no, I know they make it garbage. So I'm like, no, I don't want that. I don't trust them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole issue with Sony is that like they've never really changed.
Nope.
You know, like they've been doing the exact same shit.
That's
like
why I refuse to support the Venom movies.
Yeah, I mean, like those are all right. You know?
If you turn your brain off, yeah, but I'm not supporting those movies with my money.
No.
So I'm nah.
Yeah, and like, you know, like they're a business, and like,
yeah, of course.
The like overall goal for a business is like to make money and like make a profit, but like they're, I don't know, like they just like do shit to like not. It doesn't feel like they have like the interests of like the storytellers at heart at all.
Yeah.
And it shows like in all of their products almost. But yeah, I forgot like the question of the topic. Like, what was it?
It was we kind of blazed through like the worst Spider-Man movie, and
yeah,
the next topic was why TASM 2 looking good doesn't matter, which we kind of already did that. So I guess we could go to the last one, which is
last one. The Spider-Man community. I talked about that. So like, do you want to start that off? Because I know you have some strong opinions about the Spider-Man community, especially on Twitter and on YouTube.
We both do. My shit is mainly on YouTube, and this mainly goes for just any superhero movie that comes out. But let's just keep it the Spider-Man for now. Y'all video essayists, motherfuckers, don't watch these movies, and I'm convinced of that. I really am convinced of that. Like, y'all don't watch these movies because, specifically, and this is why I wanted to go to Homecoming, right? And I'm going to talk about Far From Home a little bit, right? When Homecoming first came out, right, everyone shitted on it because they expected it to be like Andrew and Toby's movies, which I don't understand why they thought that was going to be the case. That those movies do not fit the tone of any MCU movie, like, ever. I get y'all are like very pretentious, depressed white boys and shit on YouTube.
Oh my god.
That like critiquing movies and shit. Like you actually know how to make film. But just hear me out for a minute. Like, y'all didn't watch this movie. Like, and there's another thing, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but just because someone isn't dying every 5 seconds in a superhero movie does not make it a bad superhero movie. You can make a superhero movie while having someone die every 5 seconds and everyone being depressed and being dark and gritty all the time. Like, I like Homecoming because I can actually see the movie. Like, literally, I can actually look and see the movie. Unlike, another movie that I'm thinking about, that Alpha probably knows what I'm talking about, that we'll talk about.
See it?
Well, we can actually see the movie. Because every superhero movie has to be dark, like, literally dark.
Yeah.
I don't understand that shit. I don't. I never understood that. Why you couldn't have a superhero movie that was just lighthearted? They had some, active shit happen every once in a while, but people didn't like Homecoming because it was like they wanted this Spider-Man movie like Tobey's and Andrew's where it was like just depressing. And it's like there's no consequences. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? And I especially didn't understand why people could say that after Far From Home. That made no sense. The plot of the whole movie was a consequence of what Peter didn't do. Or his lack of responsibility. The same thing with No Way Home. I really didn't understand that. And no consequences in Homecoming, so we're just gonna act like the Washington Monument shit didn't happen? Where he left an alien artifact with Ned, and damn near almost got his entire class killed? Because of his carelessness? But nah, that's not consequences, though.
Yeah, but like not even just that, but like the ferry scene too, like
right,
like he was not supposed to be involved in that because like the like cops were already there anyways, like undercover or some shit.
Right.
He got involved and he made everything worse.
Right.
And he nearly got everyone on that boat killed.
Yeah, but there's no consequences for his actions.
Yeah, like that was such a weird point he had in that video, like where like Homecoming, he said like
it wasn't even just him. It was everyone. It was just like everyone followed that whole trend of saying that Tom Spider-Man isn't really Spider-Man because he's not constantly getting beat the fuck up. And he is, but I mean,
Yeah, I kind of honestly like felt that way too for a long time, but then I had to like sit and like think about it like this, right? You know, like just because you aren't dying, it doesn't mean there isn't a consequence there. And I feel like that's what a lot of people, like especially like on the Spider-Man film Twitter and film YouTube, like need to realize, like just because there isn't a dire situation at play, it doesn't mean there isn't a consequence.
I mean, I get it. Y'all are depressed. Y'all want to feel something. I understand completely. But I don't put that shit in my movie. I get it, bro. But, like, no. You don't need all that all the time, 24/7 in every superhero movie. That was the fucking problem with superhero movies until the MCU came around.
Like, I personally don't mind it, but, like, I mean, it's better if there's a balance of it, you know? Because, like, you can't have something just all be dark without anything to kind of balance that out, you know?
I don't mind it if it fits within the confines of, like, what makes the hero good. With Spider-Man, it does not. Spider-Man's stories, his best stories, are, like, lighthearted with, like, a dark undertone. Like, there's shit that will go left, and that's when it gets dark. For Peter. Because he just goes through regular shit. And I get, like, Tom Spider-Man is different in that regard, because he went to outer space, he fought Thanos, and blah, 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 blah. But, like, they had to adapt Spider-Man to the MCU and make it make sense into a world of already established superheroes.
Yeah.
And have it make sense.
Now, like, all that to say, like, it's not perfect, because, like,
no.
I still feel like his adaptation has issues.
Of course, but all three of them do, to some extent. And yeah, like, I don't know how they don't mention Uncle Ben. That's my main issue with his Spider-Man, is, like, that bothers me a lot. And the fact that he went into outer space and became an Avenger right after Homecoming, where he said he was just going to put his head to the ground and shit, and it kind of just erased all his progress he made in Homecoming, but to sell toys. But I mean, that's what happened.
I know John Watts must have been like, "What the fuck?"
I'll be
Bro,
like,
how the hell do I work with this? Like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. That shit kind of bothered me. I'm not gonna lie, especially since I spent so much time defending that movie from people, and then I was like, bro, I can't defend this shit anymore, man, because the shit that happened in Homecoming
they kind of fucked you up there.
It doesn't matter. And then
they
like,
broke your ankle.
Far From Home was good until he made his suit, and then that kind of just ruined it for me. But I guess if you watch No Way Home right after that, which I guess is the way it's supposed to be watched, I guess it makes sense, but like I just didn't like it.
It doesn't really make sense to me personally, because like I feel like in Far From Home, he learned everything he learned in Homecoming again.
Yeah, pretty much.
I felt like in Homecoming, we kind of established that, you know, he knows he has to be his own hero.
Yeah.
And he knows that he doesn't have to be like Iron Man, and that he doesn't have to be a replacement for Stark. But it seems like in Far From Home, like they were only interested in trying to like do all that shit over again, only because of like Tony dying.
Yeah.
And like that shit felt like such a waste to me, because like we already been over it. Move on to something else.
They couldn't, because like Infinity War just made that movie obsolete.
And like, oh man, and when he was building his suit in Far From Home, and like it was blasting AC/DC, I was like, bro, what the fuck did Happy just say?
I think it was Led Zeppelin and not AC/DC.
Some shit like that.
Whatever. Either way, it was not his music. So.
Yeah, and like Happy just had a conversation like a minute ago with the man, saying that he needs to be his own hero. He doesn't have to be like Iron Man. He plays Iron Man-esque music. Like, come on now, movie. Make up your mind.
It was really, honestly, if they took that scene out of the movie, like, I think I would enjoy it a lot more. I like a lot more. But like, No Way Home fixed all that shit. Which is crazy.
Oh yeah, like it fixed most of my problems with this adaptation of Spider-Man easily.
It gave everyone what they wanted, and
yeah, I'm so glad.
We got everything that we wanted, and we finally got, like, he officially got Tom as Spider-Man in the MCU. Like, he's officially, no one can deny, like, he's Spider-Man now.
and he's not going anywhere.
No, he's not. Better get his ass back in the fucking nah.
Yeah, like he can take a break for like a year or whatever, but you getting back in the suit, Tom.
Right. No, bro. I don't really know if I'm coming back or not. I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here. Nah, get the fuck. Nah, get the fuck out of here, bro.
If you weren't gone after Far From Home, then you're not gone after this.
Nah, like I said, every time he says he's not coming back, Marvel adds another 0. I'm like, no, bro. They had another 0.
Right. Yeah. You know, and okay, like from his perspective too, like as an actor, like I imagine like you don't want to play the same role for like forever.
Yeah.
So at some point, like he is gonna stop being Spider-Man.
Yeah, of course. Not now.
That shit ain't happening now. The fuck?
No. No.
Yeah.
You were playing Spider-Man till you're 30, my good sir. Or,
at least
or more.
30.
At least 30, bro.
At least 30. Like, we need, like, 3 more movies out of you, at least.
Right.
And some cameos.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, No Way Home, like, changed everything. Like, about his, like, Peter Parker. And I love it so much. You know?
Shit is lit.
It fixed every issue, like, I had with Aunt May, I'm still kind of iffy to me because, like, I don't really care that much about her, and I felt like it was kind of too late to make us care at this point.
Yeah, they're kind of just pulling on, like, your already known knowledge of May instead of building on the character.
Yeah, and like, that's pretty cheap to me.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, they had all this time to kind of try to, you know, like, not help us, to make us care about May more. But I haven't liked her at all, like even in Homecoming.
Yeah.
So like I think with that, you know, that was a missed opportunity, but everything else was good. You know, like that's like my second favorite Spider-Man movie easily.
Her dying still was fucked because that man Peter didn't even have time to grieve. He got shot at.
Yeah.
That shit was so messed up, bruh.
Yeah, it's messed up, but that's some Spider-Man shit right there. And like that's all I ever wanted to see from Tom's Peter. And I got that, you know?
See, but if it was up to the Spider-Man community, that would have been in every single movie of his. And we didn't need that. We needed his shit to be lighthearted so we can appreciate when shit got really rough. Like, we can appreciate that shit.
Okay, so, like, I have a question for you because, like, people on Spider-Man Twitter have been, like, theorizing that, like, his like, first trilogy, like, was planned out to be an origin from the start.
Yeah.
Now, like, do you think that's true?
To a certain extent, yeah. I think after, here's my theory, right? I think after Homecoming, yes, it was meant to be like that. I think that's what it was meant to be because, I don't know the vision that John Watts had. Like I really don't. Maybe he planned it out from the start, but like it really didn't hit me that this was an origin story until the final swing. And I was like, yo, that shit is kind of brilliant, low key. It really didn't hit me, but I think after Homecoming and after Infinity War and after all that shit, that's when they started to be like, okay, we'll turn this into an origin story. Maybe that was meant to be that from the start. I don't know. But I said from jump, I'm like, people don't understand, like, I didn't take Homecoming at face value either. I think that's why I didn't judge it as harshly. Because I'm like, there's more to this. People don't understand how a character arc works. Since they built up this universe, they can take their time and build up this character properly instead of putting everything into one movie. Which is how the last 2 trilogies got fucked up. Well, trilogy and a half. But, like...
Yeah, Andrew shit.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they don't have to do that in the MCU. They can take their time. But people don't understand that because they don't understand how that shit works. It's like, cool. They want everything right then and there. But, like, I promise you, like... You look back at the trilogy, you appreciate it a lot more. Except for maybe Far From Home. I don't know. I could kind of do without that. That one scene. The suit-up scene, I could do without that. But I feel like if I watched all 3 of those movies back-to-back, I'd appreciate it a lot more. Like the character arc a lot more. But I don't know if it was planned. I think it was planned up from a certain point. I think my working theory is that it was planned after Endgame. I think after they knew what was going to happen in Endgame, that's when they started putting that together. I think that's what it is. Maybe it was planned from the start. I don't know. Or maybe it was planned from the start and they made tweaks along the lines. Who knows? But either way, it was lit. So
I'm not really sure if it was planned from the start personally because, like, in Civil War, like he seemed, not experienced, but like he seemed like he had an idea of what he was doing at least, you know. But like in Homecoming, like he didn't have any of that, you know.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And maybe
mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say he didn't have any of that. But it was weird, like the transition, and I don't know if it was meant to be like that from the start, and maybe he just doubted himself because he was near all these like larger than life figures, and maybe he started doubting himself because of that. I don't know, because that's what it seemed like to me. Like he seemed like he couldn't do anything. He had been to something that was so huge and so like monumental, like a fight between the Avengers. He had been a part of that shit, and like it seemed like in Homecoming he started to doubt himself like a lot and said basically like I'm nothing without, the suit and this fancy tech and everything, which is why it pissed me off even more in Infinity War when he went into space. But like, it didn't make any sense.
I guess it's a case of like just having like a different crew behind him, because for Civil War, like it was made by the Russo brothers, and like I think they wrote it too. And like in all of like their movies, like where Spider-Man's a part of it, like he seems like such a different character. Like have you noticed like how in Civil War and in Infinity War too, like he would always mention like older movies like Star Wars and shit.
Yeah.
But like how in his own films, like he never does.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I noticed that. So.
Oh, I said this before. That's what makes Spider-Man a good character. Is that everyone has a different everyone has that picture of Spider-Man in their head. It's different from everyone else's.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So. In a way, I like it that you could tell that different people are writing him, but it sometimes does get a little wonky.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Overall, like they keep the same lighthearted feel of Spider-Man, which is why he's my favorite live action version of Spider-Man.
Yeah. But like I don't feel like they had this plan until after Far From Home, and like that's mainly because the Sony thing happened. Like they were having that like issue with like Disney like over like the rights or whatever. And so they had to get that contract renegotiated. So I think at that point is when like they were really set on like this trilogy being, I guess, a prologue to him becoming Spider-Man. Because like like in Far From Home, right? I feel like the whole point of that movie, is for Peter to be his own hero, and like he doesn't have to be Iron Boy Jr. He can be Spider-Man, but. Like, he also learned that in Homecoming, too.
I hated that people that said that. All y'all that said that after Homecoming are fucking idiots, by the way. Everyone that said that clearly did not watch the movie. Y'all are idiots. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so it just felt like he learned the exact same lesson in both of those movies.
Pretty much.
And, like, it makes me question the point of Far From Home. Like, what were they really trying to go for there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe like you can tell me, because like I don't really know.
So, I think I've watched the movie like 3 times, and honestly, like that movie is pretty good. I love that movie, except for that one scene that kind of just ruins it for me. But like everything else, it's a good superhero movie. I guess it's just another one of those cases where Homecoming was kind of like the intro movie where he was supposed to, I don't know, he just got back from this fight with the Avengers and he was kind of like, damn, I want to go back and do more shit that matters. Like, so he put himself like above like the friendly neighborhood shit and wanted to do more Avengers level shit, and he couldn't because Tony kept ignoring his calls and blah blah blah, even though he told him, hey, there's a problem here, let's fix this shit. So he went out to go do it himself and messed it up even more, and then got scolded by Tony for trying to fix Tony's problems. So
basically, yeah.
That was one of my issues with the movie, is that Tony treated him like shit for trying to fix his fuck ups, pretty much. And by the end of the movie, that's why I liked it, because like Peter was like, you know what, I got it. I did this all by myself and saved your ass, basically by myself. And I was like, yeah, I'm my own person. I don't need to be a part of the Avengers. He got exactly what he wanted the entire movie at the end of it and refused it.
Yeah.
Because he realized what was really important. And that's why Infinity War kind of ruined that movie. Because
then Infinity War happened.
Yeah, so it'd be different if, like, Tony helped him for an instant. I think, honestly, if they wanted to make Homecoming matter more now, they should have kept his ass on Earth. I don't even think he should have helped out with the final fight. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know.
Oh, an Endgame?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I know. I really don't. That's how I really feel. And I understand, like, it's Spider-Man, right? But if they wanted to stay true to the character, for me, I think those two movies really just ruined Homecoming. Especially Infinity War. And it was cool to see him there. Don't get me wrong. It was cool. But it just went against everything the movie set up, so that they had to do it all over again in Far From Home, and with a twist, obviously, because he was grieving. And it was, I don't think that movie would have had as much impact if he wasn't there with Tony, maybe, but maybe if I don't know. I don't know if
it really depends, because like in that movie, like he was kind of blaming himself for Tony,
which
I
makes
felt like
no sense, but
yeah, because like that was like out of his control, but like he was blaming himself partly, and like even like Mysterio, like he brought that up like at a point in the illusion, you know, where like he had like Tony coming out of the grave.
Yeah,
so like I don't know, like I just thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was weird, and it's all a matter of perspective, but like I don't know. I feel like Far From Home wanted to bring that theme back of him not having faith in himself before for a different reason. Because Tony was gone and he looked up to him so much. And people think that's a bad thing because of their relationship in the comics, and it's always going left. And it's like, okay, but Tony isn't like he is in the comics in the movies. I mean, he is, but he isn't. So, like...
Yeah.
I didn't see the issue with Peter looking up to him, because he would. The type of person he is, the type of person Tony is, like, he would look up to him in that scenario. So, like, that made sense to me, why he looked up to Tony so much, and why, like, he was grieving a lot when Tony was gone. He watched him die. So,
yeah.
He watched, like, this person that he had basically idolized since he was a kid, since he was born, pretty much, just die right in front of him. And then basically put all this pressure on him to be the next Iron Man, and then he realized, like, I don't need to be the next Iron Man. That's not what I need to be. I just need to be me. It's the same type of message that Spider-Verse did, except Spider-Verse did it a little better.
A lot better.
But then it was different, obviously, because it was like, no, actually, no, it was kind of the same. But Spider-Verse did that message better. But like Far From Home, while it does, I have my problems with the movie, I appreciate what the movie did, because I feel like if Peter didn't make his suit the way he did, I wouldn't have appreciated the final swing in No Way Home as much as I did. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's how I feel.
Okay.
And like, I wouldn't have minded if they didn't I think the music is what got me, because like, if he had just made a suit that Tony designed for him, or like Happy told him, hey, this is a suit that Tony made, you know, before, you know, he died for you, and he wore that, I'm like, that would have been better. Basically, instead of making it seem like Peter is doing something special by making his own suit with Tony's technology, I feel like it would have been better if they said, if Happy told him, hey, Tony made you this suit, basically, like it was already made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
and
like,
people would have been... Go ahead.
Yeah, like at that point, like it'd be kind of a contrived, because like Tony already like gave him like a pair of like glasses, like with, you know, like Edith.
Yeah.
And so you're telling me on top of that, he also made him a brand new suit outside of the Iron Spider one? Like
I don't know, man. I'm just thinking. I don't know. Like that situation is just, I don't think there's any organic way out of it. Maybe there is. But him making that suit and then the final swing in No Way Home, that shit just had so much impact because we had been waiting for it for so long.
Yeah.
And then it hitting you that like this is Spider-Man. Like it was like watching the ending of No Way Home made me feel like I was just opening up like a first issue of a Spider-Man comic run. Like that's what it felt like watching that final swing. I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but like that's the way I felt watching him make his own suit with the sewing machine and jumping out of the window and everything. It made me feel like I had just like started watching Spectacular Spider-Man over again, or like opened up Amazing Fantasy for the first time, or something, where it was just the beginning of a Spider-Man run.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like, and that's when like I think that's the brilliance of that scene, and why honestly it's the best final swing scene in my opinion, because of the weight it carried. And I don't think it would have carried as much weight if he had done that earlier. Because of like him basically meeting Andrew and Toby, and basically them saying, hey man, it's what we do, and him learning from them, but them not basically telling him he can be Spider-Man. Like it was different.
Yeah.
And I think that why that movie stands out as opposed to the other two movies, because Homecoming just got erased because of Infinity War. Far From Home was confused about what it wanted to be. No Way Home, I feel like whoever was in charge, I don't know if John Watts, whoever did that movie had complete creative control. It felt like to do what they wanted to do, and like they wrote a Spider-Man story and closed it out strong. So I think I've been talking for a long time. My bad, but
that's all good. All good. Yeah,
that's why that movie just hit so hard, man.
I definitely get you, bro. Like No Way Home, like it was such a great experience, you know, because like it doesn't feel like that movie's real, you know. Like after seeing it twice, like I still don't believe it exists, you know, because like it's like too good to be true. Like it fixed every issue I had with this Spider-Man. On top of seeing Toby and Andrew again in costume. On top of it, you know, like being, you know, like a culmination of like his character arc from Homecoming and like all the other movies, you know, like it was really cool to see. And you know, like it was the first movie where, you know, first Tom movie where like I felt, you know, like really bad for him at parts, you know, and I didn't really get that like out of Homecoming or Far From Home personally.
Well, that was just the way it was supposed to be. Those movies were meant to make you really feel bad for him. Not really. Yeah. Like, he was struggling, but not, like, really struggling. It's, like, in those movies... In Homecoming, it was more about, like, Spider-Man's struggle.
Yeah.
And in Far From Home, it felt like... I don't know. It was both, to a certain extent. But the Peter side of it didn't really feel right. I don't know. Spider-Man side felt right? But in No Way Home, I think they got both sides, like, perfectly. And that's what made that movie, like, really good.
Interesting. I felt like Homecoming was more of a Peter Parker movie.
Yeah.
And
that's what I've said. That's...
Yeah.
My bad.
But... Yeah. And, like, Far From Home, like, it was confused on what it was trying to be. Because, like, you had Peter... who didn't really want to be Spider-Man at the moment. No. And so that's why he left his costume and everything. But at the same time, he was forced to like do Spider-Man shit in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But that was really cool because he just didn't want to be Spider-Man anymore.
Yeah.
At a time where everyone needed Spider-Man.
Right.
Which was really interesting. It could have been executed better, obviously, but...
Yeah, and I wish, like, he was in New York, you know?
Yeah, that would have been nice.
It would have been ideal, but, like, it is what it is. Like, it was something different, you know? Like, they were in Italy, and we haven't had a Spider-Man movie in Italy before.
Obviously, because he's in New York.
Yeah, right. It was something, I guess. I don't know. But like back on No Way Home though, like even on like the filmmaking side of it, like that movie looked really fucking good.
It really did.
You know, like in terms of like the camera shots, the cinematography of it.
Yeah.
Like it was a big improvement over honestly, most of the MCU.
Yeah.
In all fairness,
the MCU really didn't start turning up in terms of CG until recently.
Yeah.
I think because of I think you mentioned before, it's like they have to pump out these movies and get them out, and so they kind of sometimes I feel like they rush through a lot of their visual effects. They're not necessarily bad, but you can definitely tell.
It needs more polish. Yeah, especially with Black Panther's final fight.
That shit looked unfinished. It was really bad.
Yeah, that shit was kind of
tough. The CG in the rest of the movie was good. But the final fight, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. I'm like, that shit. Yeah,
it looks like they ran out of time and budget.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, what? But I think last year Marvel went off last year. We got fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is one of my favorite just shows in general.
Yeah.
We got Shang-Chi, which is honestly, that's probably the best looking Marvel movie to ever exist. Period. The visual effects in that movie are ridiculous. And then No Way Home. So
yeah.
And there's other shit too, I forgot, but
right.
But
yeah.
Man, No Way Home.
Really good.
We've been fucking rambling for almost 40 minutes, but
hey man, that's what podcasts are, bro.
That's
people
true.
talking about shit.
That's true. Anything else you want to say or talk about? I think we're out of.
I think we never really finished our point about the Spider-Man community, or at least I didn't. I don't think.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, we kind of went off on a whole different tangent.
Go ahead, bro.
But yeah, I saw a meme on Twitter once, about Spider-Man fans and how Spider-Man fans don't like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that is so fucking true, because every other day on Spider-Man Twitter, it's always a person either complaining about Tom Spider-Man and how he's not Spider-Man, or they're comparing Andrew, Tom, and Toby for the 100th time, always some negative shit about Spider-Man. And I understand not everything's gonna be perfect, and there are times where you can criticize shit, but I feel if that's all you're really doing and you're not talking about anything positive with it too, are you really a fan that likes this character?
They don't love that character, bro.
Yeah, and in terms of the video essay people, okay, so I don't have a problem with High Top, I think he's a person.
Go ahead and stutter. Go ahead and think about what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
I don't have a problem with this content. It's fine. It's edited well. He gives his opinionated thoughts, and that's fine. But what I take issue with is how people just echo his opinions over and over again. Because if you recall, people, at least the good majority, loved Homecoming. I'm especially on the internet, but it seems after his video came out, that kind of pushed a new a perspective on Homecoming, in a really bad light. And I think basically what I'm trying to say is that his essay on Homecoming made such an impact on the community to where it made people basically turn him into a meme. It was everywhere.
That shit was funny, especially his Far From Home review. That shit will always be legendary. Yeah, that man said he felt sick watching a Spider-Man movie, bro. I swear to God, that shit killed me. I was dying laughing when he said that.
Yeah, that and Cosmonaut, all his stuff with Spider-Man, he doesn't watch those movies. Yeah. He can't. I don't know.
Does anyone that does video essays actually watch the movies they actually critique? Because I'm really genuinely curious. I'm actually curious, bruh.
No, they don't. Or at the very least, they're really overly critical about shit they don't really need to be that critical about,
Bro, I get it. You're depressed. You want to feel something. I get it.
I don't know. Like, it just seems like it's a bunch of people making the same points, and they aren't really adding anything new to the discussion at all.
No, it's the same shit.
Yeah. If it's not, like an argument about Spider-Man actors, it's an argument about it not being comic accurate. If it's not an argument about comic accuracy, then it's an argument about their fucking costumes. Like, it's always something.
That is true.
But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on the Spider-Man community and how, like, toxic they can be. But, yeah. Do you have anything, like, to add to that, or...
No, I think I said all I want to say about the Spider-Man community. Y'all are a bunch of no-lives. I need to go outside and get some bitches, but,
Hey, but some of you are cool, though. Come on.
some of y'all are alright, but, I mean, most of y'all are on something, bruh. We get it, like, Spider-Man means a lot to a lot of people, but some of y'all need to chill out. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Calm down. Relax.
No, it's all superhero shit, man. It's all for fun and enjoyment.
And fantasy, bruh. These people are not real.
Spider-Man isn't real?
Oh.
What?
Anyway.
I guess we can end off the podcast by talking about our Spider-Man rankings.
Oh yeah, the movie rankings.
Movie rankings.
Forgot about that. Sorry guys, we're new to this, so.
Yeah. So, do you want to go first?
Huh?
No,
actually, you go first. Go ahead.
Okay.
Top.
It's so many fucking movies. Jesus.
All right, let's go top 5. Let's go top 5.
5.
Yeah, top 5 Spider-Man movies.
All right, so top to bottom. So Spider-Man 2. No Way Home.
Hey.
Spider-Man 1. TASM 1. Shit. Homecoming. Far From Home, Spider-Man 3, TASM 2. And then Spider-Verse would be on the same level as probably Spider-Man 1.
Wait, what? I'm confused. Wait, say the list again?
So, like, it would be Spider-Man 2, and then No Way Home, right? Mm-hmm. And then for Spider-Man 1, it'd be tied with Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Okay, so they're both going to be at number 3. Then number 4... Actually, you said 5, right?
Yeah, top 5.
Okay, okay, so... Next... TASM 1.
For 4?
Then Homecoming. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Homecoming.
Gotcha.
Right under that. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty confident with that list. How about you?
Yeah, no, sounds good. Why did you tie Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Verse? Just curious.
'Cause, like... Spider-Verse is a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Spider-Man 1 as well, though.
Gotcha.
And I can't really put one movie over the other.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can quote Spider-Man 1 all fucking day. All of us can, basically, in dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so,
true.
Like, yeah, so, like, it's such a timeless movie, I feel like. And so is Spider-Verse. And I can't really put one on top of the other one. So I just have them tied for now. It might change in the future, who knows? Gotcha. But as of now, that's what that is.
Is there any reason you put Amazing Spider-Man over Homecoming?
Yeah, mainly because of Andrew.
Gotcha.
Andrew carries that movie. He carries, like, both his movies, basically.
Yeah.
And I enjoy a lot of the action in it.
Gotcha.
And it was our first time, like, where we had, like, Spider-Man doing shit at night, like, for most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you ever noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I really enjoy TASM. It's not perfect. It has a lot of problems, but overall, it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Homecoming, I enjoy, but not as much as the other ones. So that's at number 5. And then if we were doing like all of them, then like TASM 2 would be at the bottom, like dead last.
Right.
Like right under, well, yeah, like right under Spider-Man 3, because Spider-Man 3 isn't good. I don't care what anyone says. It has never been a good movie, and like they have to stop calling it that. It has good ideas, but poor execution, and like that's all that really matters when it comes to filmmaking.
Yeah.
At that point, I feel like if you can have 20 great ideas, but if you can't do it properly, then it's not gonna pay off.
Right.
But yeah, that's my ranking. That's how I feel about those movies. The mic is on you, sir.
All right. So, just for being safe, since I haven't seen No Way Home twice or more than once, I'm gonna put Spider-Verse at number 1.
No.
Spider-Verse
Okay.
number 1. No Way Home number 2. Number 3. Shit.
That's interesting. Okay.
Jeez.
All right. So, question before you continue, though. Okay. So,
All
what
right.
do you feel like, No Way Home has, or it doesn't have that's in Spider-Verse, because you have that like as your number 1.
Only reason I'm saying that, like I said, I haven't seen it more than once.
Okay.
But honestly, I feel like the only reason I would put No Way Home over Spider-Verse is because of Andrew and Toby. And that's not enough of a reason.
I mean, it's for a reason. I mean, like.
That's true, but like I'm talking about, like, if we're talking about for me, I want to talk about what movie would I just throw in and watch on a daily basis more.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't know, and I feel like if I watch, I don't know how I feel if I watched No Way Home so many fucking times, right? Because I've watched Spider-Verse so many fucking times, and I still love that movie. So I don't know if I would feel the same way about No Way Home. Like I said, I haven't. I know it's a really good movie, and it's definitely in number 2.
All right.
But I don't know if I could put it in number 1. Spider-Verse is just too good.
Okay.
Honestly,
I respect it.
The reason, the two, I usually do this with movie rankings. I usually think about a specific scene when I'm thinking about like my favorite movies. And obviously, the "What's Up, Danger" scene is just too good. And like when I'm rating Spider-Verse on any list, I think about that scene. I'm like, bro, it tops almost anything in almost any movie I could think of. And
I have chills every time I watch it.
yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
like,
really good.
the amount of detail that went into that scene that I didn't even notice until I watched it again. Like, I love shit like that, where like I can go back and watch a movie several times and notice details I didn't notice before. And that's why I love like Marvel movies.
No.
And that's why I tell people they don't watch these fucking movies, because they don't notice the details in these movies that they put in, that the directors and everyone put into these movies when they're making them. Like if you go back and watch Marvel movies, like you can see like details that you didn't notice before, but people don't watch these movies, so whatever. But yeah, the "What's Up, Danger" scene. The only scene from Spider-Verse. You know the scene from Spider-Verse. It's the three of them, bro. I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to rate it off of just nostalgia, but like that scene, man. Like, it's too good. Okay, like, bro, I almost shed a fucking tear in the theater watching that shit, bro. But no,
it's really good because like it's a proper payoff, you know, like all movie.
Yeah.
He's been working towards that. And like it was really fucking cool to see him actually do Spider-Man shit at the end, you know?
Yeah, and but I have to put Spider-Verse above No Way Home for right now.
Okay.
That might change in the future, but yeah, those are top 2. 3 is tricky.
Spider-Man 3, right?
Like I said, 3 is tricky.
I know you heard me.
I'm on the podcast by myself. It's between Spider-Man 2. I don't even know if I could put Homecoming up there, because every time I'm ranking Homecoming, I'm like, I have to rank it by itself, because like Infinity War just kind of shitted on that movie. So I'm like, I don't
sure
know.
it did, but like you have to like take it for what Homecoming is by like on its own.
Yeah. I think I might put Spider-Man 2 above it. So it's Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, Homecoming. I might. It's tough. I kind of want to put Homecoming above Spider-Man 2, but then like,
Oh.
I don't know. You know what? Since I'm feeling it right now, I'll put Spider-Man 2 above Homecoming. Homecoming's my number 4, and then I guess Amazing Spider-Man. Maybe the first Spider-Man movie. Oh.
That's number 4?
Yeah. Oh, no, number 5. My bad. First Spider-Man movie is I don't know, man. I can't go back and watch that movie like that. I don't know.
Which one? The first one?
Yeah, the very first one. I don't know. I like the movie, but it's I don't know. Maybe Amazing Spider-Man 1 is number 5.
Yeah. And like, is that because you've seen it too many times, or like is
No, it's just because I like it more than the very first Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
I like that movie a lot. I can admit that the movie is not really that good, but I can admit like I enjoy it, and I think that's all that matters. It's my fucking list. But
yeah,
I like the way he became Spider-Man in that movie a lot. Like he didn't become Spider-Man for the same reasons as the other two did, and like I appreciate it because like I told you in Platt this, but like I love Tom Spider-Man. He's my favorite live action version. But if I was Spider-Man, I would be Andrew Spider-Man. Like the way he acts, like he's Ultimate Spider-Man. Like that would be me. If I had Peter's powers, that would be me. That would be my attitude. I'd be a dickhead.
yeah.
And like the way like Uncle Ben was killed, and so he never found the dude, unlike the comics, and so he just started just going around looking for the dude. Like he wasn't fighting crime or anything. He was actually just looking for one dude. He wasn't saving people until, like, he saw Dr. Connors on the bridge, and he fought him because, like, oh, that's his responsibility. He created him, basically. But then Doc Connors left, and he saw people were, like, dying and shit, basically, or about to. And then he saved that dude's kid, and then after that he realized, like, man, I can use these powers for more than just revenge. And so he let it go and became Spider-Man. Like, I fucks with that a lot. And that's one of the main selling points for that movie for me is like the way he became Spider-Man felt really natural. Like it was something that would happen. And it was kind of just I like the way he became Spider-Man probably more than the other two, like Tom and Toby. Like I really like that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'd put that it's probably it's probably my fifth one. Yeah. Probably my fifth one. It's my fifth one. I might honestly. So I don't know if I could put it above Homecoming. I don't know. Nah, I don't know if I could do that.
I mean, you can. It's your list, bro.
No. I'm thinking about it because my opinion flip flops. So
I feel that.
Well, with in terms of like Amazing Spider-Man, because like I think about the really good things about that movie. I'm like, man, that's godlike. But then I think about the bad things. I'm like, yeah, that movie's ass. But I don't know. It's hard, man, because the good things about the movie are so good, but then the bad things are so bad. It's like,
yeah, it's like really in the middle.
Yeah, so I think it's the fifth spot is a good spot, and then if we're rating the rest after that, it would be Spider-Man 1 definitely. That's number 6, and then Far From Home. Far From Home, and then Spider-Man 3. Yeah, I think I was like, yeah, okay. So that'd be like the full list.
Okay, so like the bottom part is kind of similar to mine. Okay,
yeah,
I gotcha.
A little bit. Except the only difference is Amazing Spider-Man 2 isn't on the list because it's just that bad that it doesn't even make the list.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the only difference. That movie doesn't even deserve to be on a list.
It's like, where were all these Amazing Spider-Man 2
I'm saying,
people,
bro.
like 8 years ago when that movie came out? Like where the fuck were you?
They were watching the movie and noticing how bad it is. Like
that shit was awful.
It was garbage.
And like I was like, oh, okay, like maybe like all the problems here like can be fixed like in the third movie, and like then that shit never came. No. So I was like, oh, all right, well then we're just stuck with this for like.
They could have fixed Spider-Man 3 with a fourth movie. They couldn't have fixed that shit. That shit was bad.
Yeah.
That shit was really bad, like really bad. So
I don't know, like I feel satisfied with how Spider-Man 3 ended. You know, like overall, personally.
it was, yeah, I guess.
It was really sad how it did, but I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
It's whatever. I don't need a Spider-Man 4.
No, don't need an Amazing Spider-Man 3 either. But
I'm not even sure Toby could do a Spider-Man 4 physically at this point.
he probably could, but he probably wouldn't want to.
No.
I mean, he might.
I mean, like, he needs the money, so.
Damn.
Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me not slander Tobey Maguire on the podcast. He's the GOAT.
Right.
But, yeah. So, yeah, man, like, do you have anything else to, mention or point out, or can we call this a, completed episode?
Did we mention how all video essayists sound the exact same and look the exact same and make the exact same points? I feel like we did. So I think that's...
Yeah, probably, but that's a given, though, so...
That is a given, yeah. Anyway.
Spider-Man Cinema.
I feel sick to my stomach. That shit is still funny to me. I'm like, bro, why do you...
Spider-Man Far From Home broke me.
Like, what?
I get it.
That shit is...
Sort of.
That shit is funny. Nah, that shit is hilarious. Anyway.
And no hate to High Top, though. If you want to be on the podcast, you're welcome. Anyways.
Hey, man, yeah, man. Hey, guest star. Even though this shit probably gonna get like 5 views.
Shit, he could be one of them. Come on.
Right. Facts. Hey, I fucks with that energy. Anyway, I think we're done, right?
Yeah, we're done. I'm tired of talking.
Right. Anyway, y'all. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're still here at the end of this, like, wow, like you have nothing else better to do, that's crazy. Anyway, this has been HDK and Alpha, you want to say your name?
Yeah, hi, I'm Alpha. Nice to meet you.
Oh, we're nice. We're not meeting. You already met you. We're saying goodbye.
All right, see you, chumps.
All right, bye. We out this bitch.